the draft bill law for submission to His Excellency for assent, and the assent was conducted. Council approved that the Borno State University is Borno State University. The necessary action and the renamed university board, the National State, the person so appointed by the wisdom of the council is Dr. Engineer Babagana Malembe Mustafa, who is also the Commissioner of Budget and Planning. The new DCOS is to serve in these two capacities, and he is so appointed for his capacity, for his diligence, commitment, and his proven integrity. Number 4, Council took decision on the need for street naming and house numbering in Maiduguri and other rural locations in Borno State. And there are so many new buildings and new estates and new undertake. The aspects that the Borno State government shall take includes building parts of the terminal, contribution of fire trucks, 2 of them, and contribution of pilot vehicles. These have been met, and the Borno State government has fulfilled all its obligations in terms of the transition of the Mahmoud Buhari International Airport to an international airport with facilities for overseas travels and cargo terminal. The road dualization commences immediately, and Council shall provide the resources for the Minister of Works to commence work immediately. Next, number 6, is the construction and upgrade of schools and educational infrastructure within Maiduguri and local government areas. This includes the construction of Sangha School at Gamborungala, the completion of Islamic College, Higher Islamic College, and so many other educational institutions within the state. Number 7, Council has approved the construction and upgrade of healthcare facilities within MMC and some local government areas, including Molai, Askira, Magumeri, Gubio, Dikwa, Benishek, Baga in Kuka local government, Barbu in Shani, and Kaleri in Dere local government area. Funds shall be released immediately for commencement of work. Number 8, Council has approved the installation of digital infrastructure at the Musa Osman Secretariat with capacity for instant connection to the government house, known as e-cabinet. The e-cabinet infrastructure shall have wireless and optic fiber capacities and enhanced internet facility between the Musa Osman Secretariat, the government house, and other satellite MDS for instant connection in order to reduce the wastage of time and resources in terms of physical attendance of meeting. So very soon, the Borno State Executive Council and the executive work shall go digital. Number 9, Council has approved the construction, rehabilitation, and repair of major roads within Maiduguri Metropolis and several local government areas. Within Maiduguri, at Maha, at Mbo, Askira, and Wombio, at Bonikaleri Housing Estate, Dikwa, Gamboru, Ngara Road. Number 10, Council has approved the purchase of heavy-duty machines, machineries, and platforms for urban and rural construction of roads, houses, schools, health centers. This is in tandem with the resettlement plan of the Borno State government. Council realized a long-term investment. And finally, Council has approved the establishment of a quarry at Pulka to assist in easy access to construction materials, including sand, dust, and chips. This will also aid our mass construction of houses, roads, and other vital infrastructure in the state. Gentlemen of the press, these are the key decisions reached by the Council today, and I will now pause If you have any question for my colleagues seated with me, the Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, Engineer Lauro Kibe. Next is Engineer Mustafa Gubio, Commissioner for Housing and Works and Housing. Then to my left is the Commissioner for Health, Professor Professor Baba. And of course, the SA to His Excellency and Media, Mamana Dodaia. And to my far right is the SSA Media, His Excellency Baba Shekharu. If you have any question, please, we have stated, or you need any further explanation, we are at your disposal. Thank you.
The Honorable Commissioner and other Honorable Commissioner, and we say that you have hit the ground running. Sitting to discuss our 42 demos at this point. We are thinking whether we should just take a break and go and come back tomorrow, because it's a very lengthy way to be waiting. So congratulations, sir. You made a lot of presentation here in terms of approval of projects and so on by the council. But one thing has to do with money. How much do you think, I will say, have been approved totally today for the good work that the government was doing? The question is dualization of international airport. Which aspect? Is it the one leading from roundabout to the airport?
Thank you very much. I will give you the figures, but I will ask the Commissioner for Works and Housing to elaborate on the dualization of the money required. Okay, I think that would be better. Let's take over.
Good evening all. My name is Kirawa, the Notice Correspondent for News Central. First, I would like to commend the Governor and of course members of the Executive Council for doing an excellent job and coming up with this initiative. Secondly, my concern is with regard to the issue of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. We 24 even came up with is it town hall addressing the issue, but still we have these children on the street. What is the government really doing in terms of addressing this issue? Because it's I'm very much interested with regard within the metropolis and other parts of the state. What do we post?
Next.
Thank you.
For the Wall Street Journal. My question has to do with the airport. First and foremost, for the good work we are doing with regards to so many has made to the minister when he visited has been completed based on what you said. So we want to know what approval for street naming. Honestly, it's something that ought to have been done yesterday, but we thank God that it is better late than never. It shows that the work of the governor and the peace is finally returning, has finally returned to Borno, and it's Maiduguri consider perhaps maybe some of us, the journalists here, maybe number of commissioners, or what are some of the notable names or things that we should look forward to in terms of the street naming, since you said it's going to be. Thank you, sir.
How many communities?
I report for Charles Television. I sincerely want to acknowledge and appreciate the effort of the state governor for the giant strides so far in the past 6 years. He's been doing well. And, sorry, yes, education too, I don't know. And the Ministry of Health.
We call on Commissioner. We call on Commissioner. The other Commissioner for Education will do that. Yes, on the rail infrastructure, I will take it first. And the Muhammad Buhari commencement of flight, YTJ, I'm going to say something about the national street naming, like you said. On the sponsorship, scholarship for health courses and for general education, engineering and so on, STEM courses, the Education Commissioner and Health Commissioner will respond. So let me allow them to speak because I already spoke. So let me not dominate my colleagues. Please, Commissioner for Works and Housing, over to you regarding evaluation.
Thank you very much. As far as the evaluation of the road is concerned, the road linking Maiduguri Airport from the roundabout of Gomari Junction up to the airport, which is about 1.9 kilometers. It is the one that we are talking about realizing it. But we are going to make the road double and 0.9 million in between. Both roads, the other side is 6 meters, while the other side is also 6 meters, without drainages. So it will link the airport from the roundabout up to the tailgate, and then from the one-way road that is coming out of the airport up to the old pilgrim location, which is about 1.9 kilometers, is the one we are talking about. It has already 1.4 billion. 1.4 billion naira. Thank you. So as far as the rail is concerned, let me give some information, then other commissioners will also chip in their own information. When we went to China with the SLC, last 2 months we were in the Corporation, China Railway Corporation, where we meet the managing director. So we talked about the light rail of the township of Maiduguri. They have already come and assessed the already existing infrastructure, the rail that is lying in Maiduguri from Kasuan Shano up to Bulunkutu. I think they are going to use the existing rail, then they are going to add new one. But the Ministry of Transport is the ministry in charge as far as that project is concerned. Maybe the Commissioner for Information will look also more light on this project also. Thank you.
Education Commissioner.
Thank you very much, sir. You see, first of all, you have to appreciate from where we have started.
Yes.
At the peak of the insurgency, when this government took place, a study was first conducted by UNICEF in 2018, placing the number of out-of-school children in the state at 2.2 million. Then later, there was another study in 2021, reflecting 2020, placing the number of out-of-school children at 1.9 million, with Borno State having the highest. The latest study for 2023 ending that was reflected in 2024, we had less than 700,000. So you have to appreciate from 2.2 million to 700,000 is an appreciable wealth. According to the World Bank RPBA report, 5,000 classroom infrastructure has been destroyed, impeding the learning of these students. But our massive rebuilding effort has seen His Excellency build over 104 schools and still building, because as of this council, approval has been given for 3 mega schools: Mafoni Secondary School, Mafoni Junior Secondary School, and Mafoni Primary School, so that all children around that Shauri area will have a conducive learning environment. Over 2,900 classroom infrastructure has been built. So when you go to our locality, majority of the people are in IDP camps, and our settlements have become spatial settlements, where from one town to the next garrison town is where you find people. So we can categorically say learning is taking place in all parts of the state. I am happy many of you have followed His Excellency to Burma and have seen how much resettlement still needs to be done. So as we continue to resettle, access to school will be provided. And access to school as is provided will continue to deliberately reduce the out-of-school children. And it is our hope that before this administration exits, we are going to bring it down to acceptable numbers of like 200,000 or so, which is acceptable as per our population by international standards. Street children are a common problem we have here, and it's common to all parts of northern Nigeria. So deliberate legislation will be put in place to see how they are taken off the streets. But as for the out-of-school children, we'll continue to enroll, we'll continue to retain. In a few weeks' time, His Excellency is going to inaugurate 9 new schools within Maiduguri. In a few months' time, His Excellency will inaugurate more than 7 new mega schools in northern Borno axis. And in a few weeks to come, His Excellency is going to inaugurate so many schools in Bama, Goza, and other areas. As you follow the tour, you will see. And wherever we inaugurate the schools, we take children off the street. And we have been commended by the World Bank in reducing the out-of-school children. I think we are now number 10 or so. From number 1, we have moved down. And hopefully, when the next figure is published, we'll seriously go down. Now, for scholarships. This is one aspect we have done very well. Last year alone, we have spent close to 9 billion naira on scholarship. STEM was the first scholarship that we approved 5.4 for every billion for a period of 3 years. The first, which is 2.8 billion, has already been utilized. And students are currently undergoing postgraduate programs in India for STEM, postgraduate studies. Then we have 103 students studying medicine and engineering undergraduate in China. We have 19 students studying medicine in the Arab Republic of Egypt. This is our foreign scholarship, apart from individuals that were directly sponsored by the state. Then for the local, you will recall that His Excellency has given scholarship to 1,010 students in nursing school. And when the first exam was written, out of the 1,010, 496 are currently in school, and the government is paying them a monthly stipend of 30,000 naira in addition to free tuition. 401 students are being sponsored by the state to study medicine in the Federal University of Health Science, Azare. And 132 students are also sponsored by the state to study medicine and engineering in Al-Ansar University. By next ESCO, many of you will now, those who will witness, will see that the ministry is going to present a memo for over 4 billion naira to sustain the scholarships we have. Our budget for scholarship this year, we presented a proposal of 12 billion, but I think it ended up around 10 to 9 billion. Then 708 million naira was released last month for all students studying medicine. We want to bring down the number of 700,000 to an acceptable number of like 200,000. Then that will reduce the children you have seen. Then we will continue to sustain our scholarship. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for waiting. I want us to reflect on what has been going on in Borno State. As a result of the insurgency, we in the health sector lost about 45% of our health institutions, and therefore it was a great deal of work to recover from all this. And I'm grateful for Dr. Gara from Channels Television for asking this very important question. As Commissioner of Education has enumerated, 1,000 students have been given scholarship. In addition to that, the state government in this year's budget will be building CBT or computer-based examination center in the College of Nursing, which will accommodate 250 students. That will, improve on what we're doing, and more additional hostels will be built. And in that way, we will maintain the 600 capacity of students in the College of Nursing in Maiduguri. In addition, in order to absorb more students, the government has built School of Nursing in Goza, which has been completed now and will be commissioned this year. In addition to that, the government has built Borno State University Teaching Hospital and Medical College. This will be commissioned later in the year. The medical college has already been completed and is being furnished now, and students have already commenced their medical degree, pharmacy, dentistry, nursing, midwifery, etc. at the Borno State University. And that will, absorb more students so that they can be able to, upon completion, be able to support clinical services within the state. In addition to that, we have also been sponsoring doctors to go on specialization. Upon completion, then they can become, consultants in numerous hospitals, but especially at the, at the Borno State University Teaching Hospital. There are so far 54 in number. They are spread across the nation. Some here in University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, but on completion of the roads, so that they can assist us. And furthermore, you may be aware that during the National Council on Health, His Excellency had made announcement that henceforth health workers in Borno State will have the same salary with the federal government health workers. As a result of which, we can be able to retain more of our staff instead of the so-called internal migration, where because of differences in salary, you see a lot of them drifting to federal institutions. That will be stopped altogether. As the nursing cadre too, we have sent 20 nurses to Bayero University to become nurse tutors, who will now come back to these schools. And this will ensure that the students absorbed from streets or whatever who are qualified will now be able to study in this environment in Borno and Goza, so that they can be able to perform. Furthermore, we have already made arrangements for sending nurses to specialize in pediatrics, in orthopedics, etc. So all this is done so that healthcare in Borno State is positioned in the best care. You may also recall that for 2 years running now, this government has injected 15% of the budget to healthcare. That means it's in alignment with the Abuja Declaration, where all the nations in Africa came together and in Abuja declared that every country should spend 15% of its budget. Now, Borno State has started last year, and also this year is 15.39% of the budget. So this way we can absorb more students, and even if what colloquially is called Japa syndrome comes about, we will have enough, staff to be able to look after our patients. And more.
Thank you very much. I will now chip in on the aspects, including the question by Abu Karim, I believe, LUJ. How much is the total approved budget? The total, I'm going to repeat it, 615 billion, 615 billion, 857 million, 950,000 naira only. Also stress that the size of the budget.
No, my question is not the approval that have been made. Total approval of the budget. Yes, for today.
We don't have the figures,
Okay.
but running to billions.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, but let me also stress that the budget also completes most of the benchmark requirements, including the Abuja declaration, which are located in our budget. We allocated 15.39% of the budget to healthcare, and so for education, to our allocation is substantial, way above the average, the standards. Kirawa, you asked questions with the question with regard to the rail infrastructure. I believe the Euro Commissioner for Works and Housing has chipped in. But let me add that building an urban rail infrastructure requires time. We know that people are in haste, but the Ministry of Transport and Energy is hard at work. This project requires environmental impact assessment. It requires feasibility studies, social impact assessment. It also requires compensation to be paid to, places where, private homes will have to be taken over to build aspects of the, light rail infrastructure. So it requires time, but government is committed to it, and inshallah very soon the Maiduguri urban rail will, be fully functional. With regard to the Maiduguri Muhammadu Buhari International Airport, commencement of the international status of the airport is official already. As you know, the aviation value chain is a very complex process. It requires, for example, the construction of the roads and other facilities, including the international terminal, which is ongoing. His Excellency is following on a daily basis. The construction, progress of the construction of the international terminal is almost in the next few weeks it will be done. And I think that is all what that is really holding the commencement of international flight. But also the airlines have to, they have been given instruction to commence travel from Maiduguri. So, in a matter of weeks, inshallah, I think this will happen. But let me stress that all the promises made by the Borno State government have been kept, including the road for which funds have been released. But even without the road, the current single road is sufficient to, get access to the airport. So, Borno State government promises made, promises kept. For the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, and the parastatals within the ministry, they fulfill all their requirements there too. So in the coming days, inshallah, all the stakeholders shall deploy and international flight shall commence. Bega, again, you asked questions of street naming and house numbering. With the modalities, the committee is going to work on this. The committee shall comprise key MDs within the Borno State Executive, as well as traditional rulers, community leaders, and federal agencies whose mandate have bearing with streets and with geophysical and urban development and so on. They shall be invited, or they shall be conducted in order to come up with the new street names and house numbering. But some of the factors that will play a role in the process include our culture. The culture of the people shall be respected. There are so many informal names of streets and places, informal names, that we have to do away with, and we have to come up with names that reflect our cultural society. Let me stress that Borno is a multicultural society. I'm not saying we are not privileging anybody, but Borno is a multicultural society. We know our demography, we know our cultural society, we have 8 emirates, and we know ourselves, and we are going to respect our cultures in plural. Then we are going to also look at heroes, our heroes, both local and national, they may be considered. Then state character. We are a very unique state, and we are a very peaceful state. In fact, peace is our second name. So the character of the state shall be reflected in those things. And the national unity, just a few days ago, His Excellency named some institutions, and you can see that, some of the names are, bearing, our national, have bearing the national unity. So these are some of the factors that the committee, the task force that's going to work on, will consider. Then Dogara, Channel TV, I think that is what how the scrutiny answered. Government sponsorship answered. I think that is all I have to talk on. Yes, I think